Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Becky McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Thanks.
Okay, now we'll move on to the approval of minutes from our previous meeting.
And we don't have minutes.
So we'll approve those at our next meeting then.
Yeah, thanks.
So first up will be department head reports. First up, Police Department. We have Deputy Chief Bales.
Good evening. In the last 2 weeks, Lebanon Police Department responded to 582 calls for service. A total of 10 people were arrested for the following crimes: 4 for a warrant, 3 for operating while intoxicated, 1 for possession of methamphetamine, 1 for domestic battery, 1 for driving while suspended. A total of 19 carry permits were sent to the state police for approval. Officers Aaron Carlson and Andrew Hampshire have completed gun liaison training as instructed by Lebanon Police Department Crime Scene Investigator Colleen Brandyberry. This training instructs officers how to locate, process, and preserve firearms related to the evidence. It's given us a total now of all of our officers. We've got 18 now that are certified gun liaison trained, so it helps out our shifts quite a bit. Officers Tim Edmonds and Tyrese Griffin have completed breath test operators recertification course, while officers Eric Taylor, Austin McCloskey, and Cameron Thomas completed their initial certification to become breath test operators. Breath test instruments provide certified blood alcohol content results on OWI investigations. 13 police department members have completed their annual weapons qualification under the instruction of Lebanon Police Department Range Master Jason Morgan. The department will continue with qualifications through November in order to qualify 100% of our members and those police retirees who carry our credentials and firearms.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Chief. Any questions for Deputy Chief Bales? No. Anything from the public? Thank you, sir. Next up, Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Works meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 154 emergency calls for service, logged in 292 training hours, performed 18 commercial pre-plans, and completed 45 commercial inspections. On October 4th, LFD recruits Calvin Carter and Josiah Heath started at the Avon Fire Academy. Their graduation is scheduled for late January. October 2nd, we had a large class take Fire Officer 2 through the state of Indiana. We made it a requirement in 2021 that all captains and above must have that state certification. So I'll give you a quick list of those who attended the class. Battalion Chief Adam Dickerson, Lieutenant Jason Lee, Captains Rodney Princell, Matt Shepard, and Brett Klingler, along with Deputy Chief Mike Baird. And this is a upper level class, it's a management level class. It just provides a lot of great information for our firefighters, and it's just part of our continuing education plan. LFD uses the month of October to perform its equipment certifications. Currently, we have all of our SCBAs flow tested, all of our firefighters have been fit tested, and we have all of our ladders tested. As of October 26th, we will have fire pump testing done along with hydraulic tool testing. Last week was Fire Prevention Week, but we've kind of changed that and we make October Fire Prevention Month. So throughout the month, our firefighters will be visiting local daycares, preschools, and elementary schools to talk about general fire safety and safety in the home. And we had 3 visits today. The firefighters really enjoy it, along with the students. They got to make one of their favorite stops of the year and go into Pixie Playhouse. So we have some great pictures up on Facebook if you'd like to check that out. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief Batts. Any questions for Chief on the board? Anything from the public? Thanks, sir. Parks and Recreation, John Messenger.
Good evening. Our fall league play for pickleball has Hoosier Town Ball and Lebanon Youth Football have all wrapped up for the season. LISA, Lebanon Youth Soccer Association, has one more free training session in October. It's on October 23rd at Reese Park for ages 5 to 11. 5 and 6-year-olds from 1 to 2 on the 23rd, 7, 8-year-olds from 2 to 3, and 9 to 11-year-olds, 3 to 4 p.m. There's some good training out there, and pretty much one-on-one what I saw last couple times that they've done it. I want to thank Scott Milam for putting that on out there at LISA and their volunteers. Doubles tournament this past Saturday went very well. We had teams from all around Lebanon, and obviously Zionsville, Westfield, and Kokomo all showed up. And they had nothing but accolades for all the parks and the courts themselves. And Zionsville's pretty jealous that we have pickleball courts. So I guess they don't have any.
I think I saw they're trying to add some in their budget for next year, so.
Yes, I wouldn't doubt that. They some of them have them in their additions, and they're putting tape up to make pickleball courts. But they were impressed that we have lights and we'll be back to play on our courts. They really had a lot of inquiries, but they really enjoyed coming up, and I think we'll see quite a few of them. I was surprised Kokomo came in, but that guy played really well. His team did. He used to be a editor, I think, for the sports with Rod Rose and Whit Whitmer back in the day. So it was nice to see those guys coming in. Hardy Elementary also had a 5K Saturday morning. Quite a turnout there. Just a beautiful, beautiful Saturday to be outdoors. We had one of our larger weddings in Memorial Park the first weekend of October. Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Hall. This is probably our 10th, 11th wedding this year. They really did this one up right, had a band, and it was really nice out at the Memorial Shelter. And there again, thanks to Rotary for fixing that up. They loved the setting. Enwell had a very nice outing also a couple weekends ago at the Maple Shelter in the stage, the Joe Hawbush Memorial Stage. They had a lot of non-for-profits, a food truck, a band. It's the first time that event has ever been held here in Lebanon, and they plan on coming back and growing the event. I think mental health was out there, but there were quite a few non-for-profits. They really enjoy it, and they want that to grow. Again, those people are from out of town. A lot of them that work there weren't familiar with our park system and really enjoyed our setting out in Memorial Park. We're currently painting the inside of the cabin, aerating, treating the grounds. Had a few trees come down from the storms last night. Took care of those. We have several more to go yet this fall and winter. We're winterizing both the water park and the splash pad. That's begun. We should be wrapping it up in the next couple weeks. And we've already started the Christmas lights, getting ready to prepare our displays. And that's coming before you know it, I'm afraid. There again, Pumpkins in the Park will be held this year on Saturday, October 23rd. The event will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and will be held in Memorial Park. Come out to enjoy hay rides, kettle corn, yard games, s'mores, and pumpkin painting. Thanks to the sponsors, Lebanon IGA and the Farmers Bank. I think everybody will like the hay rides that we have too. It's horse-drawn hay rides, so it'll be really nice. Lebanon Rotary and Witham Health Services Trick or Trot 5K is October 30th at 10 a.m. And the Boone County Boys and Girls Club L Gravy Chase, November 25th at 8 a.m. That's a new event. Very familiar to Rob Shine. I think he's on that board there at the Boys and Girls Club. They have Z Gravy Chase over in Zionsville, and they're expanded to Lebanon. So we're looking forward to having that big crowd. And everybody can get out and run and then go eat a bunch of turkey, I guess, and watch some football. But anyway, that's all I had tonight.
Thank you, John. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Thanks, sir. Next up, Engineering Department, Kevin Krulik.
Thank you. Good evening. Engineering report for the 12th of October. Hard to believe we're that late into the year already. Pavement resurfacing programs through our community crossing projects. We started casting adjustments this week Should be wrapping those up in the next 2 weeks. We still have some striping to do on those, but we're nearing the end of that. If you're like me, you're also watching the NDOT website looking for the community crossing 2021-2 announcements, which should be any day now. If you see it before I do, let me know. But keep checking that website looking for an announcement. Whit Road Bridge, just to remind everyone, we announced this a couple of weeks ago, but due to utility relocation delays, we have pushed that project off to a 2022 start, starting in June 1st and wrapping up before the kids go back to school 1st of August. The Elmwood Bridge is moving forward with permitting and design, but we are considering delaying that project to a later date, just so we're not trying to construct two bridges at the same time. That will also be dependent on grant funding as well, which will open up in January. The Grant Street project, we have an RFP out on the street, request for proposals for inspection services. That was issued on October 1st. Letters of interest are due back to us on November 1st. So your first meeting in November, we will have that for your consideration and a recommendation on the inspection services contractor. And we are currently working towards right-of-way offers. Right-of-way offers should be, we're finalizing those in the next week or so, and they should be going out door to door to make those offers immediately afterwards. We're trying to get ready for a bidding schedule of March 9th, 2022, and construction to start in April and wrap up in November of next year. Big Ford Trail, remind everyone there's a public open house to be held in this building on Thursday night at 7 p.m. So if you live along the trail corridor, you would have got a personal invitation, but the public is welcome to come and learn more about the proposal and the plans for that trail expansion. On that note, our plans have been finalized and approved by Department of Natural Resources, and bidding documents are scheduled to be issued on the 22nd. Pre-bid meetings are scheduled to be held on the 3rd of November, and we will be opening bids here in this meeting on November 22nd, which is the week of Thanksgiving. Construction is scheduled to begin in the spring of 22 and wrap up in November of 22. Other projects, the Fordyce Road project, we are doing a joint open house a week from tomorrow, so Wednesday, October 20th at 6 p.m. It's a joint open house with the school district, the school corporation, to be held in the Herman B. Wells community rooms at the high school, where the schools will discuss their plans for the property that they own at the corner of Fordyce and John Bart Road, and then we will also be discussing the Fordyce Road project, and we have personally invited residents in that area to join us for that open house and informational session. Tentatively, right now, we're looking at construction of Fordyce sometime in 2023 or 2024, yet to be determined. A lot of moving parts there. And then from the inspection department, let's see, since we last met, we've had 19 SWIP inspections, 3 right-of-way inspections, and inspected 3 right-of-way complaints. We're also continuing to work on the MS4 side on our storm sewer drain marking programs. And I'm also happy to report we've had 2 new development projects kick off. We had pre-construction meetings earlier today for the 451 Flats project at 451 North Lebanon Street. That is a mixed use, or I'm sorry, not a mixed use, a multifamily project. Mixed use project that is starting as well, though, is the Brakeman building project on the former Kincaid site at 230 South Lebanon Street. So we've been talking about that Brakeman project for going on 3+ years now, so excited to finally see that starting construction here in the next couple of days. That's all I have.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions from the board? Anything from the public? Okay. Next up will be Planning Department, Ben Bodger.
Good evening, board members. Planning Department continues to remain active this fall. Over the last couple of weeks, it did complete additional 45 building inspections, so we're still averaging about 4 to 5 inspections per day. and issued 39 permits. Happy to report that of those 39 permits, 16 of them were new single-family permits. Most of those were for Auburn Meadows Section 3. We did finally record that Section 3 plat and issued 13 permits all at once that have been kind of backed up in our office waiting for that plat. So we will start seeing some construction activity out there in Section 3 of Auburn Meadows. And as Kevin mentioned, an additional permit that was just issued was for 451 Flats. We're excited to see the activity start on that side as well. A couple of other items here. The Lebanon's Park impact fee did become effective today. So all new residential permits, and that's both single and multifamily projects, will now from this point forward be required to pay this fee before the building permit can be issued. And just a reminder that the park impact fee is something that is enforced on new development to help offset the demand for services that are required by that new development. So that's what that fee is intended to do. And the fee is $1,286 per single-family home and $901 per unit for any duplex condo apartments, those multifamily projects. So again, we'll start collecting that today, and hopefully over time we'll be able to build out some funds that will help John and the Parks Department provide additional services and amenities to the residents. Additionally, a couple of staff members, Makeda Love and Matt Reynolds, are next week going to be attending an annual conference of the American Association of Code Enforcement. And while this may not sound that exciting to some of us, this is something that's very important for them in terms of moving forward and providing some additional information and training on trends and procedures that other communities are using relating to code enforcement that can hopefully make us more effective in how we do code enforcement in our community. So excited that they're able to attend that conference next week. One other item, that we do have an exciting project announcement that's going to be taking place this Thursday. I really can't divulge much information about that project now, but it's something we're all very excited about, and that's Thursday morning at 10:30. It'll be taking place out at the old Holiday Inn site on State Road 39 across from Flying J. So be looking out for that. If you want to attend, feel free to do so. If not, look out for the information, something we're pretty excited about and looking for something really great to move forward out there on that site. In terms of code enforcement, I already mentioned, it's still very active going into fall time here. Continue to have a number of activities related to existing complaints and then also following up on anything new things we get. Again, if anybody has any questions or concerns related to code enforcement, they can contact our office. We'll be happy to look into some things for them. And that's all that I have.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board? Anything from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir. No Dave tonight. And so next would be Communications, Community Development. Joe LePage.
Here's hoping that Dave feels better. Good evening, everyone. Beginning with some grant submissions, we have submitted for the Small Town, officially submitted for the Small Town America Civic Volunteer Award. That's a $20,000 if selected. Lebanon would either win $20,000, $10,000, or $5,000, plus a volunteer app and also volunteer training on behalf of Civic Plus to help out with different volunteers and arranging them for various events around the city. Not hamstrung to one particular area of our community, but volunteers in general are in short supply, especially after we're coming out of COVID. And so this will help out all events continue to thrive in our community by getting some volunteers, be able to mobilize them and implement them in different avenues within our community. Announcement will be made on November 15th. The city has been approved for the $5,000 for our Creative Community Pathway, moving towards the creation of our cultural district. Right now, we're in the planning phases of that. Upcoming with our group that is helping out with that, we'll have a creatives call out. And so some people, when they hear the word creatives, that includes artists, obviously, musicians, and those makers as well. If you're if you're a woodworker, using your skills in your garage, or you do any of the metalwork, welding, all those things are all considered being creative, a creative. And so we're doing a creatives call out to try and flesh those folks out within our community, to highlight them in the various avenues that they do, helping to tell Lebanon's story, past, present, and obviously future as well. We'll be paying creatives as part of the grant process to showcase their talents. And so if you do some sculpting, we will compensate you to have some sculptures that could be implemented throughout our community wherever the cultural district is laid out as part of this whole thing. And we'll also be holding a creative celebration in 2022, gearing up for what we hope to be the official approval of a Lebanon Cultural District in June of 2022. And so an exciting process, and so we're hoping to get folks, both young and old, in various walks of life, to be able to come out of the woodwork, so to speak, and let us highlight what they do. Speaking of art, the mural, later on this evening, we'll be asking for approval to be able to paint on canvas for our first CSX mural on Lafayette Avenue. And I have some pictures here, Matt, if you want to take some of those. These are artist renderings. Scott Trafford, a local artist, will be implementing those. You may have seen some previous designs that were a little bit more busy in the. We got to do something about the color here. The color looks a lot more vibrant, and I can pass around pictures for folks to take a look at. But it was a little bit more busy in previous iterations, and we've kind of made that, honed that a little bit more to be able to have a more artistic and yet not as busy feel to it. And so already planned, once completed, we're hoping it is approved by the City Council to be able to do that. We're ready to put the paint to the canvas, and so already have spoken with the art teachers at Hardy and also planning a community day, and so folks can come out and be able to take an active role in the artistic expression within our community. And so we'll be having that a little bit later on in the evening for our City Council meeting. Fast forwarding a bit to our Tiger Trail, it continues to be popular with tiger seekers of all ages. You can get your outdoor checklist. There are 14 outdoor tigers. The city's website, you can see that checklist. You can pick one up at the library, the parks office, the street department office, and here in the municipal building. Completed checklist can be presented at 401 South Meridian, which is where we're at right now. We have a brand new secret prize package full of many different items that our tiger seekers can take this bag with them. I won't spoil the surprise and show you all the items, but it's jam-packed full of items for young people and also adults as well that get in on the tiger seeking action. A bit of a tweak that we've made. We realize that 8 to 4 is difficult for some, and so we're offering through our Love in Lebanon website, or our Love in Lebanon email rather. If you email loveinlebanon@lebanon.in.gov, you can set up a time to be able to come in and get your prize. And so again, we realize it's an 8 to 4 is kind of a tough wheelhouse time-wise, and so we're willing to meet you on the weekend, willing to meet you off hours to be able to get your prize. And so we don't want to hinder anybody that's out there finding those tigers within our community. And so Love in Lebanon, Love in Lebanon at lebanon.in.gov. Finally, wrapping up, we got to tag along with the Lebanon Police Department and their emergency vehicle operations, or the EVO track in Plainfield. And I'm still, to be honest, I didn't throw up after riding with some of the LPD guys, but still a little woozy. They can go really fast around the high-speed courses, and some training was taking place. So with Nick Reynolds' help, LPD officer Nick Reynolds, and drone in the air, we had some footage on the ground, and so we're going to put together a highlight / recruitment video using it as part of a larger piece as well. And so plan to have that in the near future. We got so much good stuff that we may just do a video on that as a supplemental piece, and then break it into the many different things that LPD does to keep us safe. And so looking forward to telling that story as well. So worth the motion sickness, so to speak. So.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? Anything from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir. All right, that concludes department head reports. We'll move on to old business. I don't have anything on my agenda. Is there anything from the board? Okay. New business then. We do have a guest tonight. Do I have a consent from the board to take the agenda out of order? Consent? Consent? Okay. First item up then will be the road closure request from Clues Brews. We have Travis Wright here with us tonight. If you want to. Oh, I'm sorry. He texted me the wrong name. I'm sorry.
He didn't know which one was going to come.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
I thought that was, I'm like, I don't think that's the right name. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Austin, take it away.
My name's Austin Shutt. I'm the general manager at Clues Brews. We are requesting road closure for Meridian Street between Main and Washington from 2 until 11 p.m. on Saturday, October 16th for the Clues Brews Fall Fest. We already have an extended floor plan permit from the ATC to let guests come and go from the brewery and into this area. It'll be completely roped off. We will need some barricades from the street department for the two ends of the road. It's a fun, family-friendly event. We'll have bounce houses, face painters, and a dunk tank with charity proceeds going to the You're Not Alone Foundation. Mayor Matt Gentry will be in that from 5 to 6, as well as some other guests. So make sure to come out and have a fun time.
I'm hoping for warm weather, not on the... I know dunk tank in October is a little risky, but we're going to... I did not. So again, that was the request. Are there any questions for Austin from the board? Okay, so this is again, just on Meridian Street, right? So it's just that one block there?
Yep.
Yeah, so, any questions or concerns? Okay, then I would entertain a motion for the board concerning the street closure request for Saturday, October 16th, from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Meridian Street from Washington to Maine.
Make a motion, we approve the street closure request for between Meridian Street and Washington Street, October the 16th, from 2 to 11.
We have motions. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Looking forward to it. If you can bring good weather, that would be nice, so it won't be as cold.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go back to our regular scheduled agenda then now. Next item up will be the City of Lebanon Employee Handbook approval. I'll turn this over to Tanya. This has been a labor of love for you.
It has. I sent this out to the board a few weeks back, and myself and our office, mainly Michelle Granite and payroll, have worked on the new handbook that replaces the one of 2013. So we've got 55 pages. I think I've worked with a company called Consort HR and a couple people that work there, and I think we've covered all the bases and should have everything within the handbook. So it's clear to employees that we have now and new employees that are coming on board. So I just am asking for the board's approval to go ahead and move forward with the new handbook.
Any questions or concerns? I know Tanya, this has been a long process for her, and she's gone over with fine-tooth comb at this point. But so I don't think we would catch anything, but any concerns or questions? Okay. Then at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the proposed new version of the City of Lebanon Employee Handbook as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the new version of the Lebanon Employee Handbook as it's been presented.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Do you need an effective date motion on that, Tanya, or think about right?
This is actually, she put a date on here of October 1st, and I will have it out before the end of the month, so I think we're just going to leave it with October.
Okay.
And it should be fine.
Fair enough. Okay. All right, next item, Sunburst Section 1, Asphalt Performance Bond Release, and Maintenance Bond Acceptance. Kevin Kulik.
Thank you once again. Fairly straightforward. This is for Sunburst Section 1. At the time they originally built that section, they were not able to get the asphalt surface on the streets before winter hit, so that was under performance bond. We are now prepared to accept that asphalt surfacing that they've done earlier in the year. We've had them also do some repairs to that and do some seal coating in places to get that to an acceptable level. Because there were some repairs needed and some other issues that we had at the time of construction, we have asked for a 5-year, no, I'm sorry, that was a different project, a 3-year maintenance bond on this issue. And this is a maintenance bond that will replace the existing performance bond. So we would ask you tonight to release the existing asphalt surface performance bond and accept their asphalt surface maintenance bond as a replacement.
Okay. Any questions for Kevin from the board? Okay.
I'll make a motion, we release the asphalt performance bond and accept the maintenance bond for Sunbrook Section 1.
Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that is approved. Thank you, Kevin. And last but not least, I have a surplus items request from the street department. No Dave tonight, but Bill, I think you're handle that.
Yeah, I can do that. Street Department has 2 surplus items they'd like to surplus to salvage, 18-inch bucket backhoe for the case and a 24-inch backhoe bucket for a case as well. they're no longer needed, and they'd like to salvage those two items.
Okay. Both those are estimated to be less than $1,000 as well, too. So,
Right.
any questions from the board on that? Okay. I would entertain a motion to surplus the 18-inch backhoe bucket and the 24-inch backhoe bucket.
I make a motion that we surplus the Case 18-inch backhoe bucket and the Case 24-inch backhoe bucket for the street department.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, those items are declared surplus. Thank you, Bill. Okay, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from the board? Okay, on to the claims then. We'll entertain a motion concerning the claims.
I move to accept the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the claims. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Claims are approved. Any further announcements or discussion?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be Monday, October 25th at 6:15 PM. The redevelopment commission is up next.